Danny, very good to see you again, sir. Thank you so much for coming back on.
Yeah, good to see you too.
It's been a minute, but we're back. People have been asking.
We're finally the band's back together
We're here. Yeah.
with video this time too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So the last time the video got I don't know what happened to it. Corrupted, I guess we could say.
Yeah, sounds about right.
We'll say that.
Corruption.
Um but yeah, yes, with video this time, so it's very, very special. And
Absolutely.
I'm able to see the gorgeous, it seems like a backyard. Is that where we're at right now?
Yeah, I'm in my backyard right now, in Alhambra, California.
Very nice.
hmm
No, that's you. I mean, you grew up in Santa Clarita, right? Did I have that right?
Yeah, I mean, I moved to Santa Clarita when I was in seventh grade. So whatever that is, like 12 or something like that, 13,
Yeah.
whatever age you are at that time. I moved
Yeah,
there then.
let us know in the comments what yeah,
I
what age you
grew
were.
up I grew up first, until we moved to Santa Clarita, I lived in the Valley, my family, like Van Nuys, North Hollywood area.
And I heard that you're moving to Venice. Is this true? You're gonna be West Side now?
Absolutely not. Never.
Never ever, never
I
not
would
gonna
never.
happen.
I would never.
Okay. All right. So we can dismiss those claims. I want to get that out of the way early.
Yes, confirmed. I'm not a West Side guy, never have been.
Okay, so like Santa Monica. Got it.
Yeah,
Um
Santa Monica.
yesterday I saw you in an ad for
Uh-huh.
Brixton.
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, that's Danny. That's my guy right there."
Model musician, multi-hyphenate, That's what you got to do in LA to survive.
Yeah. I mean the Esquire on the end of your name doesn't stand for nothing. That
Exactly.
yeah, that's what we're saying.
Correct. Yeah, we've Brixton, shout out Dave and Peter. Those guys have supported us. They were like one of the first people, brands to sort of reach out to us and support us and ask us to play their like shows, parties, things like that. Um, like over 10 years ago now.
Wow.
So we've they've been hooking us up and taking care of us for a really long time. And actually this is the second time I've done an ad for them. I was in a print ad for Brixton in like 2015. Um, so yeah, they've just been like huge supporters of us and they make cool shit. So it's cool. They're like based out of like the San Diego area and they've just been giant supporters of us for years. So like whenever they hit us up and ask us if we want to do something, that's always like an immediate yes.
Right on. And yeah,
Yeah.
please go buy the Bowery corduroy shirt.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that sounds the Bowery. I'm not sure what I think it's a
I
flannel. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, okay, all right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The
It's a
Bowery
flannel.
flannel, go pick that up right
If
now.
you're cold and you want a flannel, honestly, their shit's really good quality. Like it's a really cool brand with, run by really cool people. I go on motorcycle trips with Peter, one of, the co-founders, and it's great. They're like legit cool dudes that we're happy to, they support us and we're happy to support them. It's a cool relationship.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, shout out to Brixton. There's a little bit of a snippets of a live performance within this ad that I saw.
Yeah, they came to our show at the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco, and that's it. They filmed the sound check, the photo shoot was all it all took place there. So yeah.
How do you feel about having your performances recorded? You like that aspect of playing?
Um, yeah, I mean, a live performance being recorded is never really that. I don't really think about it that often. Like, I think it's more, it's a little harder and a little more difficult if it's like a studio or a session kind of thing.
Mm.
Um, but doing something like live where people just show up with cameras is I'm not paying attention at all to the cameras. So I didn't even know they were filming, honestly.
Dang, that's how good they are.
Yeah, they're just pros.
Like when you started, was there a lot of people filming performances or snippets of performances?
Um, it was just different, you know, because it was like 10 years ago. Like we would like check YouTube to see if somebody put something up, and now it's all just like on Instagram and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see like, you know, we play LA and we get tagged like hundreds of times. If we play like another city that's somewhere else that we don't play often, it's, you know, a little less the case. But yeah, it's cool, you know.
Do you film little snippets of stuff when you go out and see a show?
Yeah, I'm fucking guilty, man. Like I try really hard not to, but like I went and saw usually when I go see a band, I'll take a tiny little video of some part at some point. I don't want to be like one of those people that's like holding up a camera the whole fucking time. But yeah, I'm guilty of at least taking a video here and there for sure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Two videos. I don't know. That's not that bad.
1, 2 videos is fine, I think, you know.
But then three, it's kind of pushing it though.
3 is kind of pushing it.
Four, it's like you're gonna be asked to
If
leave.
you're doing the whole fucking set, it's like you're not there, you know what I mean? Like it's like what are you doing?
Right. But what about like if it's recorded professionally, then are you more there when you're like filming it with an actual camera and you got the whole lights going and everything? Are you kind of more present within the concert itself, do you think?
For me or for like as a performer or as like a an audience member?
Both. Both if there's different answers to that.
Um, it's just like a distraction. I don't know. Um, I think I just try to tune it out. Like there's so many lights and stuff anyway. Like you don't see much when you're um, you know, on stage. You just see like lights usually anyway, so I try to just not pay attention, I think.
That's that's a good way to go about it, Danny. That's
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so.
What do you tend to focus on if it's not anything that's kind of going on in the crowd?
Um, I just like look straight ahead usually. Like look up and out. Or I focus on not fucking up. That's like that's the main thing I think is trying to not fuck up.
So up and out and not fucking up. That's those are the rules.
Up and out, not fucking up. That's it. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna jot that down later on.
Take notes if you're trying to figure out the perfect way to be doing, you know, the live thing. I think just try not to fuck up. That's the main thing.
And people won't tell you that. People are kind of afraid to give those secrets out.
Yeah, those are big industry trade secrets. All right, I finally got like the background that I want. Everybody.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I mean, I liked all three so far. I kind of got a
This is
whole
the one. This is the one.
okay, cool. Right on. It looks good. It looks good. Um, do you
Now
feel like
I'm just giving you a tour of my backyard, really. That's all. So
yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's a nice space.
yeah, it's not bad.
No, no, no. I did not say that. Just for the record, I did not say bad. I said it was good. Just want that on record.
Yes,
Underlined.
underlined. It's good.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And end sentence. Um, do you feel like there was more and more people starting to kind of post things to YouTube and these other social media sites when kind of Battle Act came out? Do you feel like that was when
No, it was like honestly, Battle Act was like a you know a time delayed bomb or something like that. It came out in 2014. I don't think we started like really like noticing. It was strange because we had like a very big PR push around Battle Act because it was on a major label. Um, we had a big PR firm working it from the major label standpoint, and we had this giant team behind it. But major labels don't really know how to like what to do um with like indie releases. Smaller releases, like they're really good at pushing Katy Perry or, you know, Radiohead or some giant artists. Like that's what they know how to do. They don't really know how to like foster and develop an artist, or like know the right way to be pushing to like what audiences and things like that. So we had this giant record label push and this whole team behind it, but we were still like, playing like to 200 people like in LA and New York. Um, I want to say it was like we toured off Battle Act pretty solidly for like 2 years. And the Phage, I think Battle Act touring sort of started in 2013 and ended in 2015, even though like the Phage was out by then too. Um, but I don't think I started noticing really like a more steady influx of people or a more like guaranteed crowd of people until like 2016. That's like around that time the sort of fruits of our labors paid off a little bit.
Was it immediately apparent, like, whoa, this is for some reason it's like jumping off now, or was it like a kind of a more gradual, like, oh, okay, more people are showing up and stuff, or was it just
It was just
bam?
gradual. Like there was never like an overnight thing. Like we toured our asses off from like 2012 to 2017. We toured pretty much like there was a year where I think we did like 8 months collectively of touring. I think that was like 2014 or 2015. Where it was just like our own headline tour was 5 to 6 weeks, and then a Europe tour was 5 to 6 weeks, and then we did a support tour. Then we came back and did more U.S. dates, and then went back to Europe, and it was like just nonstop. And that's kind of like what our schedule was like back then, 10 years ago. We were just all just in it to be on the road as much as possible, and yeah, I don't know, just one. I want to say like 2016, 2017 is when we sort of noticed like, oh, cool, this is like we can go play in North Carolina or, Atlanta or I don't know, Indianapolis or something. And like there will be a crowd, like kind of like what our crowd was in the major cities during Battle Act. Like we can have that crowd most places in the States now. And then the major cities are bigger rooms.
Going back to Battle the 10 years, the 10-year tour happened back in August, right? Ish
Yeah,
of this year.
August, and the final show of that uh announcement of the Battle Act tour is next week.
This is it.
I don't know if I'll say this is it. We're talking about other iterations of this because we had to miss certain parts of the country, so it's TBD.
Subscribe to the Patreon to get the actual the full scoop on this. Have you been playing the entirety of the album
Yep.
on this tour?
Yes, we play. The set is sort of in two parts. It's like we start out the set playing Battle Act. Um, we don't play it in the order of the album. It's a little different, just so that it like flows better for live purposes. But yeah, the first half of the set is Battle Act, and then we go into like a second part of the set, which is new shit and
Heck yeah.
ev full new and pre and post Battle Act. So
Looking back on it now, would do you think that the band would like to reorder the track listing of the album?
I don't know. Maybe it's interesting hearing it, like having to go back to like relearn some of those songs and like looking at that album for the first time, and also like the repress just happened. So like listening to the masters again and listening to the album all the way through, I think it flows well how it is. But I think like we're so used to certain songs being in certain places live and doing certain things live that it is a little strange when stuff pops up in certain areas. I can't think of an example right now, but I'm happy with that record. I'm proud of that record. It came out well. The repress is really cool too. Like we got the whole other LP, like it's a double LP thing. So
Yeah. Was that the first time that you guys did a double LP in one?
yeah, totally. And we just had so many songs. Like that's not even all of them. There's I think there's another like 4 or 5 songs that weren't on the LP2. Um, we made like close to 30 songs, I think, for that record. So, and it ended up being, I think, 13 or 14 or whatever the album is. So yeah, it's cool. It's really cool that a lot of those songs, are like get to see the light of day.
Yeah. With this tour of playing the whole album, the whole original album, were there some songs that just don't really make it into the set list all that often anymore?
I mean, there's a lot of that album we don't play live. Like there's that song "No Way Out," which is just incredibly slow and moody. It just doesn't really make sense live. Trying to think of like what else isn't like yeah, the song "Why." We played that for a long time when Battle Act came out, and then one day we just stopped. And I don't really know the reason, but it's been cool to resurrect that one because I like forgot how fun that song is to play. Um, Where the Night Ends is another one that we never really played live that now I'm pretty stoked that we're doing it because it's really fun. Um, but yeah, we kind of play like a lot of that album, or we have over the years. It's just really the only song we had never played before the tour was No Way Out. I think we played that at the record release show for Battle Act one time, and that was it.
Is it apparent in those album release shows that, I mean, obviously it's customary to play the whole album, that it's like this is the launch of it, here's the whole album. And I've heard that multiple times from different people, like, yeah, we only played that once for that one, the album launch party or whatever, that first show,
Hmm.
and that was it. Does it become apparent that it's like, yeah, that's not going to be one that's going to be in the constant rotation for this album?
Yeah, for sure. Because like when we play live, like energetic, and we try to maintain a certain energy. And a song like No Way Out is just not that at all. It just makes no sense in the live context for us. Um, it's cool to do it. It's cool to have an excuse to do it, which is this. Like, I don't think we'll probably never play it again after we do these battle act shows.
Maybe at the 20 year, perhaps.
Maybe the 20 year,
Maybe.
perhaps.
No fucking way the 15. That's just not
Definitely
happening
not
then.
15. Definitely not 15.
Maybe like a little teaser at like a show for like the 12th. So in like 2 years, just like a little opening, and then that's it. Like not the full thing.
Yeah, maybe the 12.
Okay. Do you feel like that album helped solidify the sound of the band moving forward, or was it kind of like a cornerstone in a way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it like gave us yes and no. Like an album's like so distinct in its own thing, and I feel like we never really went back to those sound. I mean, I don't know. It's a good question.
Thank you, Danny.
No, I think that that album like definitely established us in a way. Um, it leveled us up big time. Um, and it was an album that we sat on for a couple years before it came out, and it switched hands several times before we landed on releasing it with Harvest Capital. And yeah, I mean, I think that we always try to make new shit and make stuff that sounds different. I kind of think like some of our last album had some battle act aspects to it, like certain songs did, but it was still different. I think that we were also like pretty green when that record was made. We just never really made a full length album. We made that album in a really crazy way over the course of 2 years. Um, yeah, it's just like a snapshot. And I have very like distinct memories of that time period. We were like recording that album after hours at a very famous mixer's studio because our friend was the engineer there, Andrew Schubert. And like we'd basically wait until business hours were done, and we'd go in at like 8 p.m. and like leave at like 4 a.m. And it would just be like whenever we would get the text from Andrew, like, hey, like, Chris is leaving early today, like cruise over whenever. So yeah, that was the process over the span of 2 years. So
Did you like to operate within those hours, the later hours?
at the time, yeah, it didn't matter to me because I was kind of, we were all this is 2012. This was 12 years ago. So we were all pretty young and it just didn't matter. Like I wasn't doing anything else. I didn't have a job. I was in college and like, you know, there was nothing. I didn't have to wake up for anything. I was like, I'd get home at like 6 a.m. and sleep until noon. So,
And you're still doing that now. That's still your modus operandi.
dude, I wish I cannot sleep past like 8 a.m.
Why? Why, Danny?
I feel like I'm destroying my life if I do.
Okay. I see what you're saying there.
I wish I could. I know it's like uh not a logical thing. Actually, the last uh person I was dating, she liked to sleep in, and that was like took me a while to get used to that, and that gave me like a lot of anxiety when she would stay over because I'd wake up at like 7:30 and she'd want to be in bed till like 9:30, 10, and I'd like yeah, just I don't know what it is, but something inside of me feels like I'm like destroying my life and doing unforgivable things if I sleep past like 8 a.m.
that's it. You're going down the wrong path if you're sleeping past 8.
Yeah, you're a degenerate or some shit, but it's stupid because it's like I don't fucking know. It's just I don't know.
So noon is just not on the table anymore. That's not happening.
Oh hell no, definitely not.
Okay, but what if you're kind of getting back into the swing of things with like jet lag? Is
Yeah,
that
I
an
mean that's
exception?
different, but even then, like I still like yeah. I mean, I'm trying to be better about that kind of thing, but touring, traveling, things like that, like there's times like where you end up just you get where you get and it's out of your control, like and falling asleep at a normal time isn't part of the equation. So you just take what you can get and do the best you can.
All right, so there is some exceptions to this.
Yeah, but when I'm home and I'm like not doing anything else, and what am I,
What are you doing? You're sleeping in. You're sleeping in.
and then
That's what you're doing.
ruining my life.
That's it. Kid is a bad move. Don't ever do it.
Don't do it.
Don't ever sleep in.
Absolutely not.
Okay, but does that kind of create an issue when you're doing like hometown shows with like headlining and maybe you're not getting on until like 10 and you're not getting off until 11 and then you gotta pack all your stuff up and go home.
Yeah, for sure. Being on tour like sucks in that way for my like mental health and physical like sleep schedule, physical health, things like that. Because you're like I'm very like routine oriented when I'm home. And when you're on tour, like you can't have a routine. Like not the one that you want anyway. Like you're getting to the hotel room at usually like, 1 a.m. or so, sometimes 2, sometimes later. And you're waking up when you have to wake up to go to the next city. So it's like, yeah, it's tiring.
Yeah, and you're fitting in your running. I've been seeing that, Danny. You've been
Yes.
getting after it.
Yeah.
Is it what Strava? Is that the thing?
Strava.
Strava.
Um, yeah, I actually use Nike Run Club, but I should get on Strava. And a lot of people are on Strava and a lot of friends are on Strava. But for some reason, like the first time I downloaded Strava, I don't know why it like wanted me to it tried to like charge me for like a membership, which was like $80. And a buddy of mine was just like, "Oh, just use Nike Run Club," and I just stuck with that. But I think that I did something wrong. I should probably just get Strava because it's cool. It's like a social media thing.
But you're gonna pay the $80.
I don't think you have to. I think I like clicked something wrong, and then I don't know. I was like getting ready to go on a run and opening it for the first time, and I was just like ready to go, and I saw that, and I was like, ah, fuck that, and I'm like never opened it again.
So let's just take this time now. You're not getting the $80, Strava. Nice try. We're not doing. We're not paying the $80.
Not paying it.
$80, dude?
Well, I think that it was like I must have clicked something for like a pro membership or some shit. Because I've told like several other friends who are runners out, and they're like, no, that's not a thing. So
Yeah, but also, I mean, eight, like what is the I mean, it's not like my Patreon. You're not getting that much good stuff for $80 on
exactly,
Strava, dude.
exactly. Yeah. So I use Nike Run Club, but it's just sort of like out of habit at this point. It's what I got when I first started running. I started running a year and a half ago. And yeah, this year I'm gonna do the LA Marathon. I've like got some unrealistic running goals, but I think it like is good because it like pushes me. But yeah, I guess I am kind of fast. I just run how I run, and I've
Which
always run a certain way, and
which is fast and accurate and the best way you could do it. I'll say it. I'll say
I
it, Danny. I
try.
don't care. Yeah.
Yeah, I did good on the half marathon, and I did good on the 10K I just did. So I'm hoping I can do something like average about 9 minutes a mile for a marathon, which is 20, what is that, 26 miles.
Heck yeah. Are you listening to tunes when you're doing this, or you just straight like
No, I don't.
Goggins?
Yeah, no, I don't. I did when I did the half marathon. I listened to some tunes, but it's not some people like a lot of people I know like they're like yeah, like I need to have music when I run. I don't. I'm perfectly fine without it.
So you are Walton Goggins, and
I'm Walton Goggins, yeah.
do you often see celebrities and go up to them and go, "Hey, what's going on?"
I do see celebrities fairly often, because of the line of work that I'm in. I don't speak to them unless there's like a reason to, or unless they speak to me. I don't really, it's not of interest to me really. Um, I did get to meet David Beckham not long ago, which was cool, and we got to talk about motorcycles, and it was like in sort of in passing, and he's really fucking cool because I work with a lot of celebrities, but I also work with a lot of people who think that they're celebrities. A lot of influencers, things like that, who have big entourages and crews around them who treat everybody like shit. And then you got somebody who's like one of the most famous people in the whole fucking world, David Beckham, who's like, he's eating food with like the crew. He's chopping it up and saying hi to people, and like, he like said bye to me. Like, no, but that doesn't usually happen um in my line of work.
What are you doing for work right now, Danny? If you don't mind me asking, that you're rubbing elbows with all these really famous celebrities, and then like the David Beckham types as well.
I work in production. I live in Los Angeles and I have a production job. I work in transpo. I manage a production vehicle company for, you know, TV commercial, fashion, non-union work mostly. Yeah.
That's killer, dude. I like that.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a really cool. I mean, like I feel like most people, a lot of musicians, I've like my whole crew of guys is dudes in bands, like my friends from music. Um, and when I'm on set, it's like, like there's always people from bands that I'm seeing on set and stuff like that. It's just kind of like when you live in LA, those jobs they're great jobs, like they're pretty grueling, and the hours can be a little gnarly, but it's a great and flexible field to be working in, especially if you're an artist.
Heck yeah, Danny. That's what I wanted to hear. Some uplifting stuff, not this stuff about the bad, influencers and whatnot that you're coming across. Only the good stuff. The
Yeah,
David Beckham
it's
types.
it's one of those things where it's like yeah, it's like somebody who else, like Christina Ricci. She was cool as hell. Like she was super nice. I was on set with her like 2 years ago. Very nice, very lovely. Said hi to everybody. Um, who else was really nice? Lil Nas X was very nice. But yeah, you'll be on set sometimes, like I said, like it'll be some fucking, I don't like some YouTube star, and they'll have like this whole crew, and you're like not allowed to like look at them. That's fucking like it's just funny, like the level of delusion that can come with like a little bit of fame.
Yeah. I mean, look at myself. I mean, I'm speaking from experience here. 47,
Exactly.
47 views, and I'm like, I'm cock of the walk. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, you
you
know,
got security detail and everything. No,
yeah, dude, I have
exactly.
for protection at this point. Imagine being like that though, dude. That would suck. Oh man, yeah, that's not the way to live life.
And like I said, it's like nobody needs to act that way. Like I said, I've it typically the more truly famous somebody. I mean, this isn't gospel or 100% true. Like there's obviously like levels to this, but in my experience, the more like actually famous somebody is, usually like they kind of can be a little cooler than the people who are just like a little famous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I could really learn something from that if I was a better person. Anyways, I'm just gonna ignore that. Shifting back to music here because I forgot that this is a music podcast. So with these battle act performances, I mean, overall, it was like nice to go back and play some of these songs that maybe aren't in the mix so often.
Yeah. Is awesome. I mean, it's that whole tour was really one of the best tours I've ever done for a lot of different reasons. We got to tour with a really amazing band called Lily, who we're like huge fans of, and they were fucking rad. Every show was great. Like there was not really a lull or a low point of that tour. It was like everything was solid. It was really, really fun.
Right on. Um, kind of going back to when this was when Battle Act was written in the kind of the earlier days of the of Pangea. Do you feel like it took some time for everyone to kind of figure out the sound of the band, or was that the idea of what you guys wanted to produce always there?
I think the idea was always there. I think like we we were influenced like a lot by like what was happening around us, the you know, our peers and things like that. But at the heart of it, it's just William's always been writing music since I've known him, and since I started playing with him when we were teenagers, it was just he'd write something and we'd meet up and we'd play it together and fuck around and whatever you know whatever you can write a song and take that's like what the cool thing about songwriting and music. You can write a song and you can sort of do anything with it. You can write a melody. You can write four chords and melody and produce it 100 different ways. Do it in 50 different genres. It's as long as you still have like the core, like at the core, just like good songwriting. Um, which I think is like something that is the common thread with our band is that like we have songs that are super heavy, we have albums that are like really heavy, albums that are more mellow and all that, but at the end of the day you could like pick up an acoustic guitar and sing those songs or play those songs on a piano and they'll still be the same, still the same song.
Right. It's a good answer, Danny. I like that.
Thank you.
Do you feel like Battle Act or maybe the Phage, which was that was the next thing to come out was the Phage after Battle Act?
Yeah.
Do you feel like both of those albums coming out, both those releases kind of brought the attention to people like, hey, here we are. This is our sound. This is our band to a lot more of your fans that are around
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, a little bit, I'd say so. I think I just think those albums gave us a platform and visibility that we didn't have before. And they definitely like set us up and set our fans. But again, too, like like a lot of our fans at the shows now, like, are fans that have gotten into us in the like. I feel like we like had like weird little like ups and then plateaus, and then shit would go up and then plateau, up and plateau. And I feel like a majority of our fans we that are at the shows, like, we've gained in the last like 5 years. So probably since like Bulls and Roosters.
which is out now. And please go buy it if you don't have it already.
It's out. Yes.
It's out. Yeah.
I don't know. You probably can't find it. I think it's actually sold out.
Discogs,
Stream
I
it,
guess.
stream it,
Yeah,
or
stream it.
Discogs.
Stream
Yeah,
it. Discogs do both, actually. Yeah.
exactly.
Why do you think that is that some of these points kind of jump off and people are like, oh yeah, like I'm into this.
I don't know. It's like I think a lot of it has to do with touring, and like we did a lot of cool like support tours 2017, 2018, 2019, and Spotify, we lucked out and got some cool playlists and things like that, like in that time period. Shit, William's calling me into voicemail.
Sorry,
Um,
William. If you see this, I apologize. We both apologize. I'm not,
we're
and
sorry.
we're sorry.
Um, yeah, I think like we lucked out and like had a few good years from like 20, like Bulls and Roosters was the first sort of tour we did where like we noticed like rooms were filling up more, and like we were able to like level up in certain markets and things like that. Um, yeah, I don't know. There was never really like an overnight thing. It's been like a very slow burn, gradual like build up over the years, and it's still just doing that, like we're just super lucky we're still able to do it, and people are still buying tickets. I think Echoplex is will probably be sold out in the next 48 hours. So
So don't go buy the tickets.
yeah, don't go buy them. I mean, whenever this comes out, they're probably gone. There was like 50 tickets left today.
So if you got in there before the door shut, good on you.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, I mean, hey, keep an eye out for
Yeah,
for more.
we got more. We have like this next year is looking like it's gonna be the biggest year of our career. Like we have some big shit coming, which is really cool.
So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. And I mean, and all that stuff is available on the Instagram, which is at Skillet Pangea. But we're not into the promo section of this yet, Danny. But I just, do you feel like you piece songs together the same way that you did with Battle Act, as opposed to now with the more recent releases? Do you feel like you're kind of approaching it the same way, or has that changed at all?
It's changed. I think like the fact that it's kind of easier than ever to like make music and share it through like I think too many people have music. Uh, I think making film and video or film, video, and music is a little too easy now. There's a lot of terrible media to consume out there. Um, but because of that, I mean, it's an amazing thing, and it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? But like, um, it's just we're all older now. We all have very separate lives. Back then, when we made Battle Act, William and I lived together in the same house, and we woke up and we were there, and we were just always together. So, and then like Eric would come down whenever we'd ask him to from his place, and we would just play more as like a unit a lot and write songs as a group a lot. But now, um, each one of us sort of record our own stuff, and then we get together with ideas that are already sort of fleshed out, and make changes more towards the end of the process. Um, it's definitely different, and we actually had like a very big conversation about this about a month ago. Um, but it's hard, you know, like we all like I have a full-time career outside of music. Um, you know, like people are having families, people stuff's changing, you know, like uh everyone's just getting older and growing up.
Which
And
is for
it's
the better that it's changed. It's changing in a positive direction.
yeah. Yeah, it is. It's all good shit, but it's just a little more difficult for us to, you know, I'm not like waking up and hearing William like strumming on his guitar and like going into his room and like fucking around with him because we live in different parts of town and stuff like that. And we meet up at our rehearsal space and we jam and play music and yeah, it's just different. The process is different for sure.
And just so everybody knows that the recording studio is on the west side. It's in the heart of Venice, correct?
Oh yeah,
It's in
that's where
Abbott Kinney over there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, we rehearse our studio's in Lincoln Heights, which is where my old house was. I lived there for like 11, 12 years, something like that.
It's a quick stint.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as honestly, I lived there longer than I lived anywhere in my life.
Whoa.
Um, but
That's
our
that's
yeah,
kind of wild to think about, Danny.
yeah,
Yeah.
totally. I mean, yeah, it's the longest I lived in any house.
And you're moving back there then? Or
No, that house is gone. I mean, that house is we moved out and they sold it, I think about a year ago, I noticed. Because I still pass it. Um, I still go through Lincoln Heights a lot, like, because my last girlfriend lived in Lincoln Heights and also our studio's there. So, like, and it's about 10 minutes, like less than 10 minutes from my house. So I drive through there a lot and I noticed that our house, the old house, like the old Pangea house was like empty for probably close to 2 years. Um, because I would also sometimes go there to try to see if like a piece of mail was there for me that I saw was sent, you know, there. And it was empty for a while. And then about a year ago, I want to say I started noticing like lights on and cars in the driveway and stuff. So somebody bought
and that person was you. Anyways,
it.
has songwriting become easier in some aspects for you since Battle Axe, since the Phage, since these kind of older releases?
I don't know if it's easier. I don't know if writing songs is ever easy, but I think we're just better at it, better at doing it. Like the craft of writing music is uh I don't know, but then there's like this thing that like there's something like that is hard to tap into that is more in abundance when you're like an 18, 19, 20, 21 year old. Um, I think it's just like you see the world differently as time goes on and you experience life in a different way the older you get. And when you're young, you're just like a little more starry-eyed and I don't know. There's something, you know, like fucking what's his name that wrote These Days, the song that Nico sings. I can't remember, but he was 14 when he wrote that song.
And by the way, if it does the name does come,
Yeah. He was like
please
14
throw
or
it out
16. He
there.
was in high school and like that lyric about please don't confront me with my failures. I have not forgotten them. Like that's such like a poignant, like heavy hitting lyric.
For a
But oh,
16-year-old?
Jackson Brown wrote it.
Oh, wow.
Um, like that lyric, please don't confront me with my failures. I have not forgotten them is straight up about him failing a class in grade school.
Poignant,
It's
you know.
amazing. Like, you know, it's like I don't know, there's just this untapped, undistilled pureness that comes with like writing music when you're young that I think is it's just harder to access the older you get.
Do you feel like that's rechanneled in a different energy, perhaps?
Yeah. I mean, surviving. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like when I was younger, like I didn't have to do anything but like come up with $400 a month, like so I could live, and unfortunately, unfortunately, like I have a bigger life now and more responsibilities that come with that. So it makes the creating art a little more difficult. It's more of a challenge to like make time for it.
Would it also be a challenge if it was always available all the
Maybe.
time?
Yeah, I think that you're like damned if you do, damned if you don't, for sure. It's tough. Um, but if I had the time to like sit and write music all day and not worry about being a adult, like um, who knows? It's tough. I had to, unfortunately, like around the time COVID happened, I like had to like sort of give up music being like my only thing I did full time. And that's when I started working in production and stuff like that. Which yeah, I'm grateful. Like I have a life now, like sort of beyond my wildest dreams from when I was younger. But yeah, with that comes new challenges.
I'm happy to hear that, Danny, but it also kind of bums me out a little bit if I'm going to be honest with you.
I mean, we're still making fucking music. We're about to go in the studio and record a new record in like a month.
Heck yeah.
So, and I think we have, yeah, like there's new shit. Like I will always make music and art, but it's uh the availability I have to make it that window is always like in flux, which is tough to like find time to do those sort of things that I love to do. I mean, those are my favorite things in the world to do is like make music and art.
Heck
But
yeah.
um, but it's tough the older you get to be able to find the time to do it.
It's
But it
still
doesn't
kind
mean
of
we're not doing it. We're still
okay.
doing it. We're still making music.
That makes me less sad, but still,
Yeah.
Danny, come on now, dude. Bumming me out, dude.
Like like I said, we're going to make a record in like a month. We have a full length record like sitting. That's just yeah, we will have something out in 2025.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Has making music with the same guys, Eric and William, since 2009-ish? Yeah, am
hmm
I kind of in the ballpark there of the origin
Yeah.
of this?
Eric joined the band in either '08 or '09. I think 2008, but maybe 2009.
And again,
Um,
apologies to Eric as well if you catch this.
yeah. Sometime in that year range, he became a part of it.
Okay. So like I
But
mean,
William and I had played music for probably 3 years before that.
wow. So like 2006-ish, 2005-ish.
Well, William was making music. He was making music under the name Pangea with our friend Adrian. Um, '04, '05, I want to say. And I think I probably started like going over to his mom's house and playing along in 2006, 2000, definitely 2007. Probably the first time was probably 2006, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, so 2006 with William, 2008 or 9-ish with Eric. I mean, having this super long relationship with the people that you make music you've been making music with and continue to make music with,
Mm.
has that kind of relationship that has been going on this long made it easier to create music with the two of them since it's like you guys go way back within creating things?
Yes and no. Um, I think the simple answer is yes, but there's times that the answer is no. Um, I think that we've gotten really good at making music together, and when it's us three, like William on guitar, me on bass, Eric on drums. There's like not much thought that even goes into us playing music together and sounding good. Um, but yeah, like I said, there's like new challenges, you know, it's like new hurdles and like figuring out ways to adapt and to be able to continue to be creative together. Those are like that's the new thing. It's a new thing that we're like, you know, navigating. Um, because yeah, you know, like I think I took my full-time job that I have now 2 years ago. And as much as I love having a steady job and career, um, it's made it more challenging to like, you know, make time to be creative like we used to be. Um, but yeah, no, I think like it's really easy. Like once we get together and we start playing and like we have ideas and stuff, like stuff gets flushed out fairly quickly and it's not hard for us to like lock in with one another. And we're all sort of on the same page too, with like because we grew up listening to the same music and we have the same like references. So it's pretty easy to just it's easy to like lock in, get together and make something cool.
When you're fleshing out an idea on your own, um, or you're just making your own part to this, is it easy to like, okay, and then this is where Eric is gonna do his thing. I know that he has something for this. I know that William has something for that.
Yeah, I think that like we just all know like where we're coming from, you know, with like what it is that we're creating. Like we're all just like on the same page. Like I know what William's influences are. He knows what my influences are. I know what Eric's influences are. He knows what mine are, and we all just understand each other and come from a place where like we're from the same cloth and same school. It's just making art together is fairly effortless because of the time that we've shared and because of that.
That's a good answer, Danny. I like that answer. Through this process, things have changed. Maybe you would construct things differently. Going back to Jelly, I think is the first release, right?
Yeah, that's the first like on paper first release for sure.
On paper and on tape, right? That those are the two ways of
Yeah.
getting it.
Yeah, you know, like it was a Jelly Jam, yeah, was Jelly Jam was basically a different version of something called Wisdom Surf, which was something we came out with first on like a CD-R that we burned. And before that, William had like a string of random other EPs and stuff like that.
Was the changes that you've made with kind of moving forth in music intentional?
There's intention in everything you do artistically, but like, and there's choices that you make, but I think it's just like, you know, tastes and inspiration change over time. And the thing that inspired you maybe a year ago, it probably doesn't inspire you in the same way it did, you know, today. Um, you know, it's so yeah, I think that it's just one of those things where you just inspiration is a strange thing and you 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 make these decisions, but also like at the same time, like your taste is constantly evolving. So it's the decision you make today, you might make that same decision, but it'll look different in like a year because or the way that you'll execute it will be like a little different.
Right, right. Would you have approached the songs from the most recent release, Misery, that there are the most recent release, Misery,
Hmm.
differently, if it had come out like 2 years ago?
Uh, that that's a funny question because we recorded that. I think we recorded that like 4 years ago.
So the question does not make sense, and I apologize for it.
I think like there's I think like I think I don't know. That's a hard one because yeah, like I said, like those songs I don't remember when we did them. I know where we did them. We did them at our friend Greg's studio, and it was not intended to be released. Like they came out. We just wanted to put something out so that we had like we wanted to do some touring around Battle Act and before Battle Act re-release. And we were like, wait, we forgot we have these things that are done. Like, why don't we? These are cool. Let's put them out.
And those songs were originally supposed to be for Williams' solo EP.
Correct. Yeah. So he wrote these songs and he was like, I want to make a solo record. And then Eric and I ended up playing on it. Um, and we were all kind of like, yeah, like fucking go for it. Like use them, whatever you want to do with it. And then I don't know, a year and a half ago or something, like I straight up forgot that we did those songs. Um, until like he was like, "Oh shit, like I think maybe we should put this out from the solo thing I did because I just think like they sound like Pangea songs, so like let's make them Pangea songs." And we did. And they came out and yeah, it's a cool release. It's fun and different sounding than anything else because it was recorded in a different place. The songs had a different intention behind them. Um, yeah, it's cool. Like it's funny though. Yeah, that was supposed to be William's solo EP, and then it's slowly just turned into the Pangea EP.
Um, was that kind of the first time that had happened that like a song, some songs were like fully fleshed out and entirely for something else, and it was brought into to the band? Was it the first time that that kind of occurred?
Um, trying to think. I mean, it goes back to like what we were talking about earlier a little bit, where like you can write, all of us write songs, and you can write a song with the intention of it being for one project. I mean, like, um, Eric's song "Little Line" I think was intended for it to be like a solo song, and then we ended up like making it a Pangea song. Songs that I've written, I've always sort of just intended them to be Pangea songs because I've never really had the desire to make a solo thing. And I just, yeah, I think that answers the question.
It sure does. And I not only that, but I like that one. I like the answer to that one, Danny. If you were, I mean, hypothetically, if you were gonna make something, another project, a solo project, would it be in the same vein as Together Pangea, or would it be something kind of
Probably, no,
different?
probably not. I'd probably either make a country record or like a electronic, uh, ambient record of some kind.
Maybe a half and half, both
Yeah,
side one, side two.
yeah.
I like it. Whatever you do, I like it.
Thank you.
Um, do you like that idea of working on things separately as a band and then bringing it in all together? Or do you prefer to work on things together and like, all right, and here's the song and you fit here and you fit here? Or a little bit of both?
I think it's both. I mean, I love it when we can get together and write music together. That's like a lot of fun and really cool. Like, and a lot of Battle Act was written that way. Like, Alive was written that way. Make Myself True was written that way. Um, yeah, there's definitely songs that were written us three, like just fucking around with like a riff or like a hook. Um, so yeah, no, I think both are fine. It's just it's cool when we can get together and write music together, but it's just not always practical.
Kind of taking a step back, you had mentioned that you ride motorcycles, and that's kind of been a thing that you've been interested in,
Hmm.
along with the running, of course.
Hmm.
Does having these pursuits outside of music help you become creative within music? Do you kind of look towards things outside of music to spark an interest and then come back and execute music?
I think motorcycle stuff, yeah, bike stuff, sure. Because there's something very like introspective and zen, and that requires you being incredibly present to ride a motorcycle. Um, Especially like an old chopper that is like, it's a battle to get it to do what it should do. There's like a lot of lessons in there, like good life lessons, and it's the only thing in the world that I do that requires me to be fully 100% present at all times. So when you are that present, it's meditative and it's like you like create. I think creativity can spark from that for sure.
Zen and the Other Motorcycle Mechanics. Sure.
Yeah, it's a great book.
I don't share that sentiment, but that's fine, Danny. Just as long as we're on the same note here. No, it was fine. It
Yeah, I
was
love that book. It's a good book.
okay. All right. It's
I'm a
good.
fan.
Can we redo that? Okay. I love
Love it,
that
man.
book
I
too.
love it.
It's
Great book.
so good. It's the best.
Music is something that has just been a constant in my life for so long, and I love it like more than anything. But when I'm doing other shit like bikes or running or whatever, like I'm sort of doing those things to do those things.
Hmm.
But like I said, like riding a bike, especially like going on long trips and things like that, like you have a lot of time to just sit and think and be in that moment more than any other activity. So yeah, I think that there because of that you do end up like like melodies will come into your head or whatever or ideas.
And you do that while wearing the new Brixton flannel, correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Perfect. Danny, I really do appreciate you coming back on here, man. I know that we're trying to coordinate this, and I'm just so glad that we were able to do it, man. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. So this helicopter go by, but
I mean, that's a perfect way to just end it right there.
yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for having me. It's really
Yeah,
cool talking.
my pleasure. But before I let you go, we got some promo to do here.
Okay.
So, yeah, like I mentioned before, Taylor Pangea on Instagram.
Yep.
That's where you could find all the updates, all the nice stuff that you got to keep up to date with the Nike app running miles and stuff and Brixton stuff and all that good stuff can be found
Hmm.
there. And yeah, all the music is streaming everywhere. Wherever you get your music, that's where you could find it. And yeah, if you did jump in at Bull and Roosters, yeah, make sure to go back and check out the older stuff. And for those who had came in at Battleac and the Phage, be sure to go and check out the newer stuff. And
Yeah.
let's get these streams up, you know?
These numbers up.
Get
That's
these
what the
numbers up.
label wants.
And that's what you want, more importantly.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, we want people to listen to our music, so yeah.
But yeah, please go back and listen to the older stuff and the newer stuff. Whatever you haven't listened to yet, go and listen to that. And the merch can be found at togetherpangea.bigcartel.com. That's the best place, right?
Yeah, or at shows. We put stuff up there when we can. So
So if it's not up there, go to a show and go buy some merch there.
yeah, there's always gonna be stuff at the shows that won't make it to the internet.
You can buy the most recent release, Misery, along with the rest of the catalog of music through the Bandcamp, which is at togetherpangea.bandcamp.com. And is there a physical release for that?
For what?
For the Misery EP?
No, it's just the digital only.
Digitally exclusive.
Digital exclusive. Maybe one day we'll do some kind of. I mean, we have so many EPs. Like there might be a time where we do something, but at this moment, yeah, I think we have like three digital only EPs. So
And who what label released the vinyls of the Battle Act
um,
reissue?
org org music. They're really
Org
fucking
Mute.
cool. And current record label for everything else is Network.
Right on. And both the links to those to find the institutions will be below of whatever you're listening to this on. And yeah, Danny, you're awesome. Oh, and I sorry, I can't forget this. New music coming out next year.
New music. I don't know when exactly, but I think actually the first song will probably be out in the for right at the beginning of the new year.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, start your year out right by listening to the new single,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
whenever it comes out, whatever it sounds. I still haven't heard what it's gonna sound like yet, honestly.
It's a good surprise for next year for everybody
Yeah,
involved.
I know the song, but the final version, I none of us have heard yet. So we'll see.
It's new.
Doesn't even fully exist yet. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
see.
mean,
It will in like about 2 weeks. It'll fully exist. So
okay, okay.
I'll know then.
And of course we're gonna be leaking that at the Patreon, so join us there to get the first glimpse of it.
Exactly.
I'm starting LimeWire back up through my own website. So,
Great. Love it.
Danny, you're the man. Thank you so much for coming back on, sir. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. It's good seeing you.
I'm gonna stop recording this. I'll talk to you in a minute, okay?
Cool.
All right.